Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I will be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, Podcast 103. 103, the .9, The Wiz. My co-DJ tonight.
We're not on radio, bro.
Oh, my bad. Well,
We're
as
on
ugly
video.
as ugly as we are, we should be on radio.
Well,
my co-DJ this evening, DJ Alex. How you
I'm
doing,
much
buddy?
more cleaner than you are right now.
Cleaner?
Cleaner, yes. Much more cleaner.
Much more clean. Okay, that's
Yes.
terrible grammar, and I have no idea why you would.
That's how much more cleaner I am than you.
What makes you think you're cleaner than me?
Look at this face. It's fucking clean shaven, bro. It's all
That's
lined
not
up,
clean
nice.
shaven.
It looks nice.
Mine's
you know?
trimmed a little bit on the edges.
Yeah, I mean, it's patches now.
looking-
You got patches
It's
now.
looking grizzly, huh?
See, you got colored patches.
I'm ready for winter. For those of you watching on YouTube, I still have the beard working for No
Still.
Shave November. This will be probably our last podcast for the month of November. And as I've said all month long, No Shave November, we're trying to change the face of men's health. Men, take responsibility for your health and go get your physicals and your checkups. And for those of you out there that are not men, encourage the men in your life to go get their physicals and checkups so that they are around for a good long time. No Shave November, changing the face of men's health.
I hear that. That's right. If you're not around, you can't hear us.
That's right.
So
And we don't want to lose any fans.
that's right.
So
All two of you.
get yourself checked out, get your physicals, get your checkups, make sure you're ready to go.
Do you think that some, I guess, people in general are scared to go to the doctor,
Right.
Because of something they don't want to hear? Because I think
Correct.
in society, people don't want to hear the truth sometimes, right? So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so it's like I feel like sometimes us as in general, right? People just are afraid to go to the doctor because they don't want to. But if you've been living right and taking care of yourself, then you probably shouldn't have too much to worry about, right?
Right.
You should be okay with going to the doctor. Although sometimes, as much as you do take care of yourself,
Things
sometimes
happen.
things happen. It's part of life. But
Well, and the important thing about going to the doctor is, and I always tell, this is kind of the way I view life in general. I can deal with the devil I know,
right,
but if I don't know, you
Yeah.
know, then
right,
what are you going to do, right? And if you go get your checkups annually, you get your physical every year, if there's something wrong, chances are you're going to catch it early, and it's going to be treatable, and you'll get some treatment, and you'll be all right. We had a family member not too long ago who had a tumor, and caught it early just
Yeah.
because he goes to the doctor regularly. He had to have surgery to get it removed. It was benign, no big
Yeah.
deal. He recovered. He's recovered quite nicely. It's been about a month now, and
That's right.
he looks great, feels great, and everything was cool. So it just makes sense. I know it's uncomfortable for people, but at the end of the day, going to the doctor, making sure everything's okay, it's the best way to go.
yeah, that's the right thing to do.
It's the best way to go.
I love this time of the year because I see a change in myself. No, I'm not hitting puberty, guys. I'm not hitting puberty. But, I all of a sudden see myself just becoming a lot more lenient. Like, I think the holiday season does that to me. Like, I'm not...
Mellows you out.
Yeah, it
You're not
does.
as strong.
Huh?
You're not as high strung.
No, and I take it easy on the kids. Like, I'm real, I kind of let shit slide, and I let them go to sleep at whatever time, and, it's... So, I like this time of the year because, kids might not see me as the strict dad. They see me for, the 10 months out of the year, so...
So it's
just
the
a good
last
time.
2 months out of the year, you just kind of coast.
Yeah, well, and their birthdays, a couple days before their birthdays, maybe. But I mean,
God.
like this time here, November and December, like not all of November, but
From
Thanksgiving,
on.
I am. I think I'm a cool dad.
Not me, man. I there is no difference for me. It doesn't matter what it is. It's hard charging all the time. Like, obviously, I only have one kid still in school, right? My son. And every Sunday night, it's like, all right, man, we had a good weekend. Let's get back to work this week. Let's have a good week at school. Do the right thing. Study. Do your homework. act
Oh,
like
yeah,
you're supposed to
yeah.
act. You know, like I don't stop.
Right,
Like,
right.
I don't stop.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't let my kids, at least my 17-year-old come home at like 11 or at midnight. But, I'm just like, whatever. It's as long as they're doing what they got to do. Guess what? Dad's gonna lay off a little bit, so I'm cool with that.
Not me. I'm hard charging
So-
all the time. I don't have an off button. I don't care what time of year it is. I don't
Well, you
give a
better
shit.
turn it on because Week 12 of the NFL has almost passed us by. There's still a Monday night game being played. Rams versus the Ravens.
Ravens at Rams. yes.
Everyone gets to see on national TV
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
And we haven't seen any of the game. I think it starts in a few minutes.
Right.
I think the country is going to get an unfair look at Lamar Jackson. I feel like the Rams are going to come in with a game plan. They've got a great rushing defense. I feel like they've got the best defensive player in the league in Aaron Donald. I feel like they're going to come in with a plan and they're going to make Lamar Jackson not look good tonight.
Could be.
Poor Lamar
Could be.
Jackson, because this is the kind of game where if he has a performance like Russell Wilson had against the Niners a couple of weeks
Right.
ago, could really propel him and his MVP case. But I just have a feeling that he's going to hit a little road bump here, a little speed bump.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams are going to do it. I'm calling my shot right now. The Rams win tonight.
Yeah, I can't go that far.
I'm crazy like
Maybe
that.
we'll see a good game. I don't know. Monday night.
I was expecting a good game last night.
Yeah, that one didn't go. Okay, you always talk about how the Texans are the best 6-5 team,
Right.
And you talk about how
The Texans are the best 6-5 team and the worst 6-5
right,
team.
right. Well, the Packers are the most fraudulent 8-3 team out there. That
It
is
sure looked like that last night.
that is, and the 49ers have now convinced me. I wasn't sold on them.
Well, with
completely.
that defense, yeah.
No, but I wasn't sold on them completely. They lost to the Seahawks the Thursday before. That team healthy, and I'm talking specifically about Kittles. And if they can get one of their offensive linemen back, Skittles, if they can get one of their offensive linemen back, that's going to be a tough team to beat, man. They look really good.
They looked great last night. And I don't know. I'm torn on whether that was an indication of how good the Niners are or an indication of how fraudulent the Packers are. I tend to think that was more an indication of how good the Niners are. I'm not quite there with you in thinking that the Packers are fraudulent. I just think that Niners team, that defense, is something else. And, it makes for a rough night for anyone. And if they can move the ball even a little bit, then the game really kind of plays into their hands. Because then the defense can pin their ears back, go after the quarterback, and really make life uncomfortable, which is what they did last night to the Packers. And in my opinion, hats off to the Niners more so than maybe the Packers are a bunch of fakes.
I say it's both. I mean, let's not forget a couple weeks ago, they put up an egg almost at Los Angeles against the Chargers.
Maybe it's just California.
Maybe, could be. I don't know.
Where's the Super Bowl this year?
Florida, no luck.
Well,
yeah.
Look, right now they're going to have to go through San Francisco to get to that Super Bowl. So,
well, they're gonna have to win the division and beat out the Vikings first, I think.
well, they'll win the division.
Who will? The Packers?
Yeah.
No, they're both tied 8-3.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's a shoo-in,
They're gonna.
though.
No, it's not a shoe-in, but they're a shoe-in to make the playoffs. I mean, who's gonna look? Only one team's coming out of the NFC East, and quite frankly, none should. Only one team's coming out of the South.
I mean, the Rams can get hot.
If the Rams get hot, then it might be tough for a second team to get out of the North. But in my opinion, the playoffs are set in terms of where they're coming from. I think it'll be Packers, Vikings out of the North, Niners, Seahawks out of the West. I don't know in what order.
Mm-hmm.
And then one team from the South, which will likely be the Saints, and then one team from the East, which will likely be whichever one does not want to go. more than the other.
Yeah.
Because it seems like neither one of those two teams wants to go. And I'm talking about the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, if the Packers make it, I don't see them getting out the first round at all.
Yeah, it depends on their matchup.
That's not a good. Yeah, I mean, okay. If the playoffs were to start now, who would they match up against?
If the playoffs started today, they would be.
My phone obviously doesn't want to.
They
work.
would be the 3 seed, so they would play the 6 seed, which would be the winner of the NFC East.
Which is probably
so they would
the
win
Cowboys.
that game.
I don't know if they would, man. I don't know if they would. The Cowboys can beat the Packers.
Look, we'll get into the East in a little bit because there's a lot to talk about there. Well, there's nothing good to talk about there, but there's stuff to talk about. But the Packers are still a good football team. Now, are they going to beat the Niners? No, I think the Niners are going to thump them wherever they play. But they can hang with the Saints, and I think they can hang with the Seahawks, and they can hang with the Vikings.
You don't believe that?
Yes, I do.
No.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah, it
I think they
show.
Can. I think they can, especially at home. If someone has to go to Lambeau, it's tough. Which, for the first round of the playoffs, someone will.
Yeah. I mean, they got to win the division to get a home game. If not, they're not getting a home game.
Right. But even then, if they lost, they would go to the weakest division winner. No, they would go to if they were the wild card, they would go to the 4 seed, which might be Minnesota or the Saints. Minnesota they could beat, and I think they could beat the Saints. Especially now that the NFL has made it clear that they will fuck the Saints on every pass interference call that they can get their hands on.
What was there another one yesterday?
They have not overturned one pass interference call all year. I think they've overturned one. They overturned one yesterday on the Saints, against the Saints.
Against the Saints?
Amazing.
Saints are winning it all.
No, they're not.
This is all the setup. It's all a setup, man.
No, they're not. They're going to get screwed over by a PI call, I swear.
Did everyone see the Sam Darnold roughing the passer call?
No.
Oh, my Lord.
I missed that.
Yeah, that was pathetic. It was the guy sacking him and just literally just landed. I mean, you can tell when someone is kind of driving the quarterback. I mean, he just fell. They threw the flag. And
to be fair, Sam Darnold did look a little bit like Tom Brady yesterday. So
Sam Darnold looked fucking excellent yesterday.
So he should get Tom Brady treatment.
I guess he's not seeing ghosts anymore. October must be over.
No, I guess the Jets, got their Ghostbusters on, and he's not seeing ghosts anymore. Yeah. Man, that was a thumping. And you know what? I didn't not hear, and I don't think I told you, but I called that. In my head, I said...
the Jets winning?
The Jets beating the Raiders. Because, look, teams from California having to play that early game on the East Coast, it usually doesn't go well.
Right.
But the Raiders have gotten away with it a couple of times. And I thought, they're not going to get away with it every time. And the Jets aren't terrible on offense.
They've won 3 in a row.
Something could happen here.
Yeah.
And I thought the Jets would win the game outright, and they did.
Yeah?
So...
Jets.
I picked that in my pick'em league.
In your head, Jets.
Jerk.
Jets.
I also picked the Seahawks.
I went 16 for 16 this weekend without the 16th game even being played.
Well, it was a lot less than 16 because teams are on the bye.
Still?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Oh yeah, there still are teams on the bye. Oh crap! See how good I am?
Yeah, I think there were 4 teams on the bye this last week.
I predicted the teams on the bye.
Yeah, there were 4 teams on the bye. Good call. Is this the last week for the bye?
God, I don't know. 5 games left, though.
I really think they got to stop with the buys. I know. Well, I say that, but it would be terrible for the players if they did, and it makes for a better product. But
okay, so
I just hate trying to keep track of who's on the bye.
Yeah. No. So we can all agree that McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, and Russell Wilson are the top 3 candidates for MVP?
I think Michael Thomas deserves a little pub.
But who are the top Your top three. Who are the top?
Those
three?
are the top. If you're only going to give me three,
yes,
those are the top three.
Okay.
Michael Thomas is
okay.
close.
So
but it's not
if
quite.
you had to pick a fourth, which it sounds like you're picking a fourth, you would go Michael Thomas.
Yeah. Who would you go with?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Michael Thomas has had a good season, absolutely.
With two quarterbacks.
But I mean, I think you gotta throw in Drew Brees ahead of him and Deshaun Watson. Ahead of Michael Thomas, yes.
I do see, and I kind of
it's
agree.
tough.
I kind of agree with you, but I kind of don't. Deshaun Watson's had, again, he's part of the Texans, who are the best 6-5 team and the worst 6-5 team. So I can't. He's got too many games where it's just nothing. And I understand it's not completely his fault, but because I blame the offensive line and the play calling. But the fact of the matter is he doesn't have those numbers. So I don't think he's better than Michael Thomas. And Drew Brees missed 5 games, and Michael Thomas didn't miss a beat.
Right.
So I have a hard time putting a guy in the MVP conversation who's played only half the games thus far.
Yeah.
So that's my argument. And I'm right, and you're wrong.
Probably.
So
I'm always wrong.
Deal with it.
You know who I'm not wrong about is the fucking Buffalo Bills. I need to be part of Bills Mafia. Somebody from the Bills Mafia needs to send me a jersey or something.
Are they even going to make the playoffs?
They're going to make the playoffs. And I can tell you how the rest of the season is going to go, too.
Hey, you want Overreaction Monday?
No.
I'm going to give you Overreaction
Monday. Which one? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
I have figured out who the surprise playoff team is in the AFC.
And they're not even in the playoffs.
Not right now, but they're going to make it.
Who?
Dude. They are rallying the troops.
Say it, because I got something to support it.
It's going to be the Cleveland Browns.
Have you seen the last bit of their schedule?
Their schedule is easy.
It's easy. They can literally go 4-1.
They are rallying the troops. I mean, they put it on a good Miami football team yesterday.
Listen, man.
I mean, look, Miami's a bunch of professionals, right?
Is that who they played?
Yeah. So they put it on them. They put it on Pittsburgh. They get to put it on Pittsburgh again this week.
They put it on Mason Rudolph.
Well, Myles Garrett literally
right. Yeah,
put it on
that's
them.
what I meant.
And Pittsburgh is doing the swirly now because they benched Rudolph for their, 6-string quarterback.
Well, Christmas is coming up, so Rudolph needs to be with Santa.
That's right. So he's not going to be available to play. And look, their schedule is easy. I think they're rallying around each other after the Myles Garrett thing. I'm not kidding, man. I think they may make a run here.
I can't tell if you're serious or not, but I was having the same exact conversation.
So let's think about it. Patriots 10-1, Bills 8-3. They're going to make it out of their. Well, actually, I'm going to go to the.
There's like 5 teams for that last wild card. The first 5 spots are settled.
So the first 4 spots, the division winners right now, if the season were to end today, Patriots, Ravens, Texans, and Chiefs. Right. The Chiefs are the worst of that bunch at 7-4. The Texans and the Chiefs both 7-4. Then your 2 playoff teams are the Bills at 8-3. They're going to make it. And then you get into this quagmire of teams vying for that last playoff spot. The Steelers are in right now at 6-5. They've got too many injuries. It's just not going to happen for them. The Raiders, 6-5 is pretty good. I think they're a good football team, but I feel like they may swoon. The Colts, 6-5, they're not good. The Titans, 6-5, they're not good.
Wait, how can you say they're not good, but the Raiders are good at 6-5?
I mean, not good enough to keep it. I think all of those teams may finish 8-8.
Tennessee is not that bad, bro.
They're not that bad.
I don't think people are giving them enough.
5-6, only 1 game out. Look, so when they win next week against the Steelers, they will won the head-to-head, so they'll be ahead of the Steelers. They'll only have to deal with the Raiders, Colts, and Titans.
The Browns are going to finish 9-7, but it's not going to be enough to get in. Because I think those teams above they're going to need help. The only hard game they have left is against the Ravens. They play the Bengals twice still. They play the Steelers.
Dude, they got the Steelers, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Ravens, and the Bengals.
Yeah.
And the Ravens may be locked into that second position by the time we get to that game. That's week 16.
Maybe.
They may be locked in. They may be too far away from the Patriots and enough ahead of the Texans and Chiefs to call it done because they've got head-to-head over both of them.
the Browns are going to finish 9-7, but they're not going to make the playoffs. It's a good little run.
The Browns may rip off 5 straight to finish the season, plus the 3 they've already won. They may go 8-0 in the second half of the season to finish.
Yeah, could
to finish 10-6.
Yeah, it could,
and they will make the playoffs.
I don't know about making the playoffs.
I think the Raiders,
because they're going to need too much help from the Raiders, the Titans, and it's just
the Raiders, Colts, and Titans are all 8-8 teams to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying the Browns are going to be 9-7,
well, to you, but they're not 8-8 teams to me.
No, I'm taking my assessment of them being 8-8 teams. Your assessment of the Browns being 9-7, and I'm saying they're in.
That's how they're making the playoffs.
That's how they're making the playoffs.
Yeah. No, I mean they're playing good football, but
it'll be interesting, won't it?
I still think people are not giving the Titans enough credit. Tannehill's 4-1 as a starter when he got put in.
Right, but at the end of the day, he's Tannehill.
Okay, well, at the end of the day, the Browns are the Browns.
Yeah, but the Browns are. I mean,
you got to give Tannehill some credit, man. I mean, the guy got traded, and no one really gave him a chance, and now he got his opportunity. Now look. This is a perfect example of someone taking an opportunity and doing something with it. Whether it's sports, life, at work, whatever.
He's had opportunities before, and he's pissed them away because he's just not that good of a quarterback now.
But it's what have you done for me lately?
Yes, he's had a nice run.
Okay,
but I don't expect him. Do you expect him to be a 12-4 quarterback forevermore because he got a little streak here and he's gone 4-1?
Well, we can say the same shit about the Browns.
Oh, but the Browns before the season, we thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl. Dude, it's Overreaction Monday.
That sounds like one too many. You thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl.
I didn't think they were going to.
You thought they were going to be a dynasty. Win 4 of the last 6 of the next 6.
I don't know. Look, it's going to make for a nice story, especially if they make the playoffs, because the media loves them.
Yeah, I actually don't want them to make the playoffs just because I don't want to hear about them. That would be nice.
I think it may stunt their growth if they actually make the playoffs this year. I think if they finish 9-7 and don't make the playoffs, it'll actually be better for them than if they finish 9-7 and make the playoffs. I think progression is good, but too much progression may be bad for this band of characters. Just one man's opinion.
Actually, now that I think about it, I kind of want them to make the playoffs. So Odell can show up and have 3 receptions for 17 yards, and that'd be great.
Who would they play? They would be the worst wild card team, so they would play the worst. They would play the best division winner, which right now would be the Texans or the Chiefs at home. Both of those teams would beat the brakes off the Browns in the first round.
I don't know about the Texans.
Well,
I don't trust the Texans, man.
Yeah, I don't trust the Texans either. But at home, the Texans are considerably better.
Yeah. Think about the Texans, man. They got Fuller, who showed up on Thursday night. Hopkins had 2 touchdowns. I mean, Watson is Watson. They got a good team, but I feel like they don't have a complete team.
Well, the biggest problem.
There's a difference. You could be a good team, but you're not a complete team.
I agree with you completely. I agree with you completely. And when that good team plays well and the offensive line has a decent matchup where they play well, they look like the best 6-5 team out there or 7-4 team out there. And then when they meet up with a front four that's rough and the play calling goes out the window, they look like the worst 7-4 team. That's the problem with them. And certainly at home and on the road, it's different, although they do have that one good win against Kansas City on the road. But there's just no telling with them. There's just no telling.
Yeah.
And they do play better at home, but I don't know. I mean, I think O'Brien, unless they go to the Super Bowl, O'Brien's done. Which, speaking of guys being done...
Man. Yeah?
What were we going to say?
Oh, no.
Speaking of done... Again, unless they go to the Super Bowl, Jason Garrett's done in Dallas.
I think yesterday confirmed that.
I mean, geez.
For Jerry Jones to come out and say... Now I heard somebody say that, Aikman was trashing. I didn't listen to... I hate Aikman as the commentator. But someone was saying that Aikman was talking pretty harsh about the Cowboys, and that's what... that's what triggered Jerry Jones to come out and say something about Garrett. I don't know. I got a hard time believing he's going to let go of Garrett, but yesterday sure seemed like it was the final straw.
It was
for
not.
Jerry
Well, I mean,
Jones.
but
look,
they
you
did
can't
look
put that.
unprepared yesterday.
Yeah, but you can't put all that. You cannot put yesterday's loss on Jason Garrett because number one, you're playing the Patriots. So if you're gonna come out and say it's all about coaching and you got out coached, well, you're playing the fucking Patriots. Why didn't you come out and say you got out coached against the Jets? Why didn't you come out and say you got out coached against the
it's not
the
possible.
other teams?
It's not possible to be outcoached by old googly eyes.
But he got out
Adam
coached.
Gase.
But he did get out coached. So why not come out and say it then? Why say it now when you look who you're playing? You're playing a mastermind. So
Right.
and the conditions weren't great. I mean, I don't put that on Garrett completely. I think the players just failed to get the job done. The
execute.
kicker, again, conditions of the game weren't that great, but
Yeah.
the kicker missed one or two kicks. Penalties by the offensive line were not. The timing was bad.
And where was Elliott yesterday?
And see, now that part I put on. Now that I would put on Jason Garrett, right? Because you got, and again, back to the conditions of the game, and Amari Cooper being shut down by Gilmore, you got to run the ball. That's a run. That's a ground and pound game. So that I put on Garrett, right? But I wouldn't exactly have called him out after yesterday's game. And
It's tough. It's tough. I think the Cowboys have a lot of good pieces.
I think so too.
And if you have a lot of good pieces and you're 6-5, then it's the coach's fault. That's just the way it works, right? If you don't have any talent like Miami, well then it's not Flores' fault, right? It's they don't have any talent. But when, you got a lot of good pieces like the Cowboys do, and I'm talking a lot of good pieces, and you're 6-5, it's Jason Garrett. That's the way it works.
Because I don't think, I don't at least say, man, Jimmy Johnson was a great coach. No, he had a fucking stacked team full of Hall of Famers.
Jimmy Johnson's
I mean, the team that he had was unstoppable. 3 Super Bowls in a row.
Right, but that's. But when you win 3 out of 4 like
that says more about the players, bro.
No, that's both. When you win 3 out of 4, that's both. That's talent and coaching, right? Yeah. If you win 1, then it might be more players than coaching. But if you win 3 out of 4, that's you got everything at that point. You know what I mean? You got good players, you got good coaching, you got good luck, you got everything.
Yeah.
The other problem in the NFC East, the Eagles. I mean,
my jinx is working, so
Carson Wentz just doesn't look like he's
prepared
to play.
I mean, in the first half of the season, it was like, or the first 6 games maybe, it was like, okay, well, the wide receivers are dropping passes, Carson Wentz is putting it right between the numbers, and now it's like, okay, Carson Wentz is not playing that well.
No,
so,
he's not.
And the offensive line's banged up too. They got that guy Dillard, I think, who's kind of switched positions or he's hurt or something. I don't know. The team is not healthy either. So
there's a lot of issues in Philly. Who's going to win the NFC East?
The Cowboys.
You still think so?
Yeah, that's the best team. And they're the most complete team. Coaching aside, that on the field, that team is better than the other 3, than the Giants and the Redskins and the Eagles. And they're good enough to win at least one playoff game, I think.
Oh no, the Cowboys? No.
Yeah.
No.
Because they're gonna get a home game, so it doesn't matter.
Who cares? Against who? Who are they gonna be? So
they'll beat the Packers.
You think they would?
Yes,
beat the Packers?
absolutely,
No,
absolutely, they would beat the Packers.
Absolutely not. They will not beat the Packers.
Right.
Who else would they beat?
Whoever else they got to play. Who else would they have to play?
Well, think about who the teams are that.
They're not going to play in the first round against Minnesota.
They might. If they win the division and Minnesota wins the wild card, is one of the wild cards, they would play a team like Minnesota, or a team like the Seahawks.
Okay,
or a team like the Packers if they don't win the division.
They beat the Seahawks last year.
They ain't beating the Seahawks this year.
I'm just saying they beat them at home at Dallas.
No, they ain't beat. They're not coming
and
close.
do we trust Kirk Cousins in a playoff game? We have yet to see that. That's an unknown.
I trust him more than Jason Garrett.
But Jason Garrett is not on the field. Dak Prescott is on the field.
I know, but he's got to coach him, and he calls plays. And no, the Cowboys.
Playoff time.
I don't think the Cowboys are winning a playoff game if they even make the playoffs. I'm not even convinced they're gonna beat the Eagles for the division.
Yeah, they should. I mean,
I don't know, man. Jeez, you put a lot of faith in them. I'm not sure if that's legit faith or if you're just trying to.
No, I mean,
if you're trying to jinx them. I'm not sure which one you're trying to do there, but
I mean, if we're talking division, they are clearly the better team of that division.
Clearly?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Would you not say that they have the most talent on the team? In the division?
More than the Eagles?
Yeah, talent, yes.
I think it's close.
They got a better running back. They got, right now, a better quarterback.
The Eagles have a better
defense. The offensive
defense.
line is better.
The Eagles have a better defense.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's just one side of the ball. I mean,
right, so...
But the Cowboys' defense is not bad.
You're saying clearly better, and I'm saying it's pretty close. They've got one side of the ball. The Eagles have the other side of the ball.
Yeah, but that defense is not Patriots' defense that can score points. So, that's...
That Eagles defense is good enough to shut down the Cowboys. Especially the way they're...
Not on Sunday night, it wasn't. Wait, who won that game on Sunday night?
That was
the Eagles won? The Eagles won?
No, the Cowboys won.
Oh, well, there you go. They're not good enough then. They're not good enough now.
We'll see. They got to play one more time in a couple weeks.
I'm just saying.
You're going to change your tune when they shut them
down?
No,
I'm not. I mean...
So the Cowboys
for the division, the Cowboys are the better team.
The Cowboys have the Bills, then they go to Chicago against the Bears, the Rams at home, then they got to go to Philly, and then they finish against the Redskins. That's 3-2.
That's a soft schedule. That might be 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, I don't see the Bills winning in Dallas.
The Bills are going to beat
on Thursday night. I don't see it.
Thursday afternoon, the Bills are going to beat them. The Rams may beat them, and the Eagles, I think, will beat. They could go 2-3. They'll lose one of those games against the Bills or the Rams for sure, if not both.
I mean, I'm not sold on the Rams. The Rams are really not that good of a team. Not this year.
Well,
I think there's a lot of mediocrity in
mediocrity.
Yeah, whatever.
Meritocracy.
Medium teams in the NFL.
Yeah, no, there is, and
the Cowboys could be one of them. But I think they're just. I mean, if we're looking at talent on the field of what they can do, position players, man, I think they're better than a lot of the, in the middle of the road teams. So.
Okay, you're gonna have to run this podcast by yourself for a little bit.
All right. Well, good. We can just.
I gotta step out for just a second.
All right. Cool.
No problem. So you're on your own. You can talk about how wonderful the Cowboys are and keep Jake.
Well, no, I won't do that. All right. So if I like to talk basketball, so for you that have been watching basketball so far, it's really early in the season, 16 games in. It's been a pretty exciting season so far. We can start in the West where the Lakers are looking pretty good right now. LeBron's having a MVP season. He's getting a lot of help from Anthony Davis, of course. Dwight Howard, who has been a surprise in my eyes. Danny Green. And here comes Ed back as if he never left.
I never left.
I can't do basketball by myself.
Oh, so you've already moved on to basketball?
What else are we supposed to talk about?
I don't know. I'm going to talk basketball.
Nah, I don't want to talk basketball.
You said you wanted to talk basketball. Let's talk basketball.
Nah, I'm good.
You're done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You already did the basketball piece?
Yeah, I did the basketball piece.
The Lakers are going to win it all, bro.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
I love Possibly. La La Land.
Possibly.
What are they, 14-2?
Yeah, something like that.
It's been a little bit wonky this basketball season. Like some of these good teams are losing games because they're the load management thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard to get a read on who's a good team and who's not, right? Like the Clippers, I'm like, well, the Clippers are good, and then they go out and they lose to whomever, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, the Clippers aren't good. It's weird. This season is weird because of the load management thing, and it's weird because of all the moving pieces. So you just kind of don't know what team's going to be good, what team's not going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. 16 games in, so
It's true. It's not
we
not a
can,
huge.
we can
sample
edit
size.
this piece out. So
Not a huge sample size. Not a huge sample size. Who's your biggest surprise in the NBA so far? 16 games in.
Biggest surprise, probably the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are like in the fourth seed right now, but I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is playing great. Wiggins is playing good.
They're the 8th seed, and they're 8.
Oh, they're 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
okay,
right.
well.
They're tied for 7th. They're tied for 7th with my surprise team, the Phoenix Suns, which I'm just shocked that they're 8-8.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows?
The other shocker for me is the Knicks. I'm shocked that an organization can continue to be this bad over and over and over again.
Yeah.
4-13.
I'm not shocked. So that's what they get for having that great owner.
Yeah, Dolan needs to sell that team. It's the only way they're going to get any better.
Yeah. I think the Sixers are, I think they're like, 6th right now. That shouldn't last for long. I see the Raptors and, well, maybe not the Raptors, but the Heat will probably fall. They're not going to stay 3rd all year. So I think, don't let the Sixers be in the 6th seed right now fool anybody. I think they're good enough to climb up to the 3 or 4 seed. So
yeah, I agree with you there. They're actually the 5 seed. You got Miami and Toronto in between them and Boston. And yeah, I don't trust Miami or Toronto long term. I trust them to make the playoffs. I don't trust them to stay at 3 and 4.
Right.
I think they'll drop down to the lower half if I had to guess. You got Brooklyn, you got Indiana, and then Brooklyn and Orlando rounding out your playoff teams, which I think that's pretty much the way it's going to be. I don't see Washington, Charlotte, Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, Atlanta, and the Knicks making a run to get into those playoff spots.
Yeah, in the East, I don't see anybody really.
And the Bucks are 13-3, so they're picking up right where they left off. Out west, you've got the Lakers at 14-2, and you got Denver at 12-3, the Clippers at 12-5, Dallas.
Oh, that's the 4th
Dallas
seed.
looks good.
Yeah, Doncic is
The real deal.
making records over here. Youngest with triple double or whatever. I mean, he dropped 41 on the Rockets last night. I mean, he's fucking playing great.
I hear him in the highlight reel every night.
And on top of that, he's got a hot mom. I mean, it's fucking awesome.
Ew.
What?
You're looking at his mom?
Yeah, have you not seen her?
No,
She's
I haven't.
fucking smoking. What?
Wait, he's not. He's a young guy, right?
Yeah, she looks just as young. like what the fuck?
Now you're gonna have me looking up Luka Doncic.
Dude, I'm telling you, she's got to have like 1 billion hits.
Really?
On Google. Yeah, bro. She's very pretty. Very attractive.
I can't believe you're scoping out basketball players' moms.
She's very. Listen, Delonte West can scope out LeBron's mom. I can sure do it. I don't have to worry about anyone coming for me. All right. Delonte's got to worry about LeBron James kicking his ass.
I wonder what Delonte's doing these days.
You want to know?
Yeah.
I heard he's a bum in Dallas. He's homeless.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not funny.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, it was so I seen a picture of this person. I'm like, man, that looks like Delonte West, and I started reading, and supposedly it's him. And I kind of did some research or whatever online, and yeah, it's supposedly it's him, and he's hanging out underneath an overpass in Dallas.
That is really sad.
That's
I know he
fucked up.
had some mental health issues shortly after he got out of the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, man, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That is really that's really sad. God.
Nice going, Ed. Want to bring it up?
You brought it up.
Oh, yeah,
Scoping out Doncic's mom or whatever. Jesus, where has this show gone?
Oh man, but yeah. So they have you seen all the duos that are averaging like 50 plus points a game in basketball?
Hold on, let me think of them. How many are there?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got five duos in the NBA averaging between them averaging 50 or more points.
Okay, let me try this.
Go ahead.
Russell Westbrook, James Harden.
Okay. The most, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, damn, I'm good. Well, I was going to do it in order.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to help you out.
Okay.
Luka and Porzingis.
No.
No?
No.
LeBron and Anthony Davis.
They're all in the West. Yes.
They're
all in the West. Incredible.
Well, but I mean, I would guess Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, but they've only played Paul George has only played one game.
Yeah, but I mean
2 games.
No, he's played more, but they're up there.
They're up there.
They're
okay,
up
so
there.
I got 3, right?
Yes.
Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins.
Yes.
One
more.
So I got 1 left. Who's the duo in Denver? No. I'm going through the teams in my head. It wouldn't be Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
No. Gobert doesn't score that much.
I'm trying to think of the teams. I'm not. So Denver doesn't have 2 guys, right? Jokic and who?
And the other guy, Murray. I thought, but no, it's not. It's not them.
Phoenix doesn't have a duo per se. Minnesota, I said Sacramento, New Orleans, San Antonio, Memphis, Oklahoma City. Portland's only 5-12.
Yeah, they're off to a rough start.
Golden State. Would it be Portland?
It's Portland. Yeah, it's Portland.
With Lillard and McCollum?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Westbrook and Harden are averaging 60.2 points a game combined. Next,
and the rest of the team is averaging 6.
Next would be Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins averaging 51.6. Then you have LeBron and Davis averaging 50.7 and 50.5 between McCollum and Lillard.
And there's no duo in the East?
No duo in the East.
Milwaukee would be
Greek Freak and
whoever.
Antetokounmpo.
Boston would be
no.
Yeah, they don't have 2.
Too much
Miami
to go
is
around.
just
Jimmy
Butler. Toronto doesn't have any real score. Philadelphia would be Embiid and Simmons, but
that 1-3 wouldn't push them over.
Probably not. How sad is that? The guy hits a 3, and it was like he had won the NBA. It was as highlighted as much as if he had won the slam dunk contest.
Did you see so when he's going up for the 3, they got a still photo. Did you see some of the audience's, the fans' reactions in the back? Yeah, it's pretty fun. You got 1 or 2. You got 1 or 2. Like one woman is just like looking away, and she's like this, but she's not looking. It's kind of like she kind of knew he was shooting it, but she didn't want to look.
She's like, oh my god!
Then you got another one that has his mouth open, like the fan.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, nobody in the East.
That's amazing.
How's this for a stat? 101 rebounds for Clint Capella in the last 5 games.
Damn. 20 a game for 5 games. That's a lot.
Dennis Rodman numbers. No one's done that since Dennis Rodman.
Well, I believe it. That's incredible.
How
are the Rockets not better?
Do you really want Alex to tell you?
Well, they're not bad. They're 11-6. They're in the 6th seed.
They're playing well. The Nets beat them. Did I just say that?
Are the Nets playing well?
They're 8-8.
8-8.
Without Kyrie.
That's about what I expected from them.
Without Kyrie.
Or KD.
Or LeVert.
LeVert's out too?
LeVert's out too.
Oh my goodness. Who's playing then?
That guy and Joe Schmo and What do you think about Harden saying this? The whole season, they've been running double teams at me. I've never seen that in an NBA game. Where you've got really good defenders. Y'all let me know when's the last time you've seen that. He sounds pissed off that he's getting double teamed.
Yeah, because he wants to score more. He's like, I just want to score, bro.
That quote right there
makes
me dislike him even more. I can't stand the guy.
I love James Harden.
Hey, 49 points on 41 shots. Yeah, he's real fucking great.
I love him. I love the guy. I'm not quite sure what it is about him, but I like it. Maybe it's all the traveling he does and the fact that he'll chuck it from anywhere. He's the original Beard. He had a beard before beard was cool.
I'm sure some baseball guy had a beard.
Maybe, but in basketball,
Yeah. Well,
he was doing the beard before anyone else was. He's been rocking the beard forever. I've never seen him without a beard. Come to think of it.
maybe it'll work if he shaves it off. He'll actually win something.
Maybe he'll find his defense underneath there.
I don't know.
That might not happen. What else you got?
What else do I have?
Yeah.
I don't have nothing
I don't
else.
have anything else. I'm
Okay,
done.
well then wrap this puppy up.
Did you happen to see the Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz fight?
Yeah, I saw highlights of it. The only highlight that mattered.
You know what was most shocking about that fight? The fact that guy was standing 5 minutes later, because I thought he was dead.
He was drunk, that's for sure.
They showed a shot where as he's falling, his eyes are crossing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I can't imagine what it's like to get hit square like that. I mean, and he didn't, usually someone goes down like that from getting hit in the chin. He didn't get hit in the chin.
What did he get? Hit like dead on the nose?
Like it was right over one eye. And it just completely shut his lights out.
Yeah, Wilder's a beast, man.
And Wilder was not dominating that fight.
He'll beat Fury. You think he'll beat Fury? I got a feeling he'll beat Fury. Ortiz said he'll beat Fury. I mean, doesn't matter what he says or what I say, but
I don't think Wilder will beat Fury.
No.
Fury is going to put up a better fight than Ortiz in terms of technically.
He's in shape. That alone will get him through.
Well, and technically he's much better.
Right.
Fury is very, very savvy boxer. And Wilder,
man, they got to make that fight happen.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
I want to see that. And then, right, whoever wins the fight in the next week or two between Ruiz and Joshua, I want to see them fight Fury or Wilder as well. I mean, I want to see all those guys fight. That's good stuff. But I think Fury is technically too good for Wilder, and I don't think he's going to knock him out or anything, but he'll point fight him to death and beat him. And Wilder didn't look great against Ortiz. Now, granted, it's a lefty, which gives him problems, but he didn't look great. Ortiz was winning that fight. He was up. The knockout happened in the 7th round. Most people had it 5-1, 4-2 for Ortiz. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and I mean, I had it 5-1, and the one I gave Wilder was a close one. I could have given it to Ortiz. So I don't know. As impressive as the knockout was, I think it actually raised more questions about Wilder than boosting confidence in Wilder. Just my opinion.
Well, I don't think Wilder needs any confidence.
No, I mean just in general, people as they see the fight, I think if they look back at that fight, it's going to diminish some of the confidence in Wilder.
Right.
Betting odds and stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. So, anyway, you got anything else?
No.
You got a shout out?
Yeah, my shout out goes to LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball.
Which ball is that?
This is the youngest one.
The youngest one?
The youngest one. Dropped the triple-double, man.
On who?
Whatever team in the Australia or wherever the fuck he's at.
Oh, he's in Australia? I can't even keep track of him now, which is fine. I kind of don't want to.
I hope that kid is really really taking notes on how to do and how not to do things. I think he's going to be good in the NBA. And I know he's still young, but I mean, he's already moving up. Like, they're talking like number 1 pick for next year.
Wow.
Him or Wiseman. So, I hope he listens to the right people. I hope he's got a good team around him, not just his dad.
You got to wonder if his dad's running the show, right?
Like I said, if he's taking notes on what to do and what not to do, then
quite frankly, Wiseman is another one that I think needs some good counsel around him, because apparently he's not the wisest kid, which I guess it's 16, 17, 18. What can you expect, right? But that whole thing with Wiseman is ridiculous. Like, how And I don't understand how Penny Hardaway isn't getting more of a beating on this thing. I mean, how do you lend some kid money and then recruit him? The right thing for him to do was if he was really looking out in the best interest of that kid, he'd have lent him the money and then he'd have stepped away and not recruited him. Because you had to know this was going to happen.
Maybe Penny Hardaway or Memphis said, "Hey, he'll pay the money back to a charity, and just kind of sweep it under the rug," because that's what the report says, right? That he's giving it back to charity. So, which I'm fine with that.
But how is he paying that money back to charity? If his family was in a bind,
working at McDonald's, bro.
If his family was in a bind such that they needed the money in the first place, I don't get the feeling that they're just going to all of a sudden accumulate this money and pay it back.
Penny's gonna lend him the money
to pay it back.
He's gonna say, "Oh look, I dropped $10,000,"
and Wiseman's gonna go, "Oh look, I found $10,000. I think I'll donate this money to charity."
There you go. See,
just it is mind blowing how stupid people can be sometimes.
Hey man, college is doing it to themselves. Pay these damn guys.
It's college. Well, there's people say pay these guys and that'll fix everything. I disagree. I don't think it will.
Well, pay him or give him more exposure or something. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know that there's a good solution. Let's put it that way. I think that it's going to be difficult no matter what. That's just my opinion.
Do you ever look at the camera? I always find myself looking at the screen. I try to look at the camera and I can never look at the camera for a long period of time. So I wonder how my eyes look. I guess I'm going to have to watch it back tomorrow.
It's close enough that it looks like you're looking into the
screen. Does it?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've watched it a few times. It looks normal. We're not that close to the screen.
Oh, okay.
My shout out goes to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who yesterday defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats to win the Grey Cup.
What sport is that?
The Grey Cup is the CFL's version of the Super Bowl.
Canadian Football League?
Yes. It's a pretty good football game. Winnipeg has not won the Grey Cup in 29 years until yesterday. So I bet it was a rip-roaring party in Winnipeg. So shout out to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
You should have went there.
I bet it was a good time.
I'm sure it was.
I bet you it was a blast.
I think the next city that wins a championship, we should just go there and just party with them.
Just party? That'd be great. Like, every now and then, just go to a different city.
Yeah.
Right? And just
party with them.
The Nationals win. Let's just go to D.C. and party for a few days.
Because, I mean...
That would be a lot of fun.
Because, I mean, let's be honest. The Mets aren't fucking winning anytime soon. The Giants aren't winning anytime soon. And the Nets aren't. So I'm not going to see a fucking championship
We could be like those guys. I forget their names. But the movie Wedding Crashers, we could be like those guys. Just show up and crash the party. Be like, yeah, Nationals.
And fucking film it all.
Oh, that would be so much. Let's do that. Let's find.
I bet nobody has done that.
Oh, I'm sure someone has.
You think so?
Probably.
I haven't seen.
Let's go party the next.
Okay, what's the next? Would it be the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. So if the if the Ravens win,
if the Patriots win,
we'll go party with them.
We'll go up to Beantown and be at the Duck Parade, tossing beers to Gronk.
Yeah, let's do it.
Or the Ravens.
Go to Baltimore. Just go to every city.
Oh,
that wins a championship.
I so think we should do that. Let's talk about that. We got to figure it out. I think that's a good idea.
Sounds like fun.
That sounds like a fun idea. If you guys want to tell us where we should go or what else sounds like a fun idea, you can email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of this guy, how do they do that?
On Twitter at BrooklynGaucho1.
And if you want to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter as well, at eMontana21. With that, we've come to the end of podcast 103.9, The Biz. The Biz. WBiz Radio. You like my radio voice?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Does it?
I think you should work on it a little more and maybe cut a promo for one of the local...
one of the local stations?
The Biz. Nobody beats The Biz.
K-Biz Rock.
KW-Biz.
103.9 K-Biz The Rock.
See, you got the if it was like radio and video. but it'll be radio. Nobody would see your,
Yeah, but
bobblehead.
the way I do that is what makes it work, right?
Yeah, because you can't be there all stiff and
Yeah.
have the same enthusiasm.
K-Biz 103.9.
Nah, I see your voice starts to change.
Rock with K-Biz.
Well,
K-Biz Radio.
tune in to the next podcast. Ed will look a bit more handsome.
Maybe.
Handsomer.
Maybe not. I got a race coming up in a couple weeks. I may keep it.
And then shave it before the race?
Shave after the race. I don't want to lose my powers.
Yeah, but you'll be faster without all that hair.
Do you think it creates a lot of drag?
Yeah, the white as much white hair more than black hair, believe it or not, and you have quite a bit of fucking white hair.
It is. I would say it's about 60% white at this point, maybe 70.
Yes, 880. 10 right here. 10 As you can see here, we have a lot of snow in the central, west, and eastern region of Ed's face. Here, down the El Paso area,
There's no snow.
there's no snow, right? Because it's Texas, El Paso. And around here, the... Georgia, right? The peach
Florida.
state. I mean, seriously, you are like,
80%, you think, huh? We'll have to take
80,
a little poll
80.
and ask people.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well,
All right.
now we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. As always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.